Not live from the Hakeem Innovation Center studios here in Las Vegas. It's What's Ups with your host, Mickey Rourke.
What's Up, Season 2. I'm your host, Mickey Rourke, and there have been changes. We're still going to have some of the things you like. We're going to have interviews. We're going to have Word on the Floor. And we're going to have What's That Food? But some things have gone. We want to introduce a new show, sister show to you with What's Ups, Get Your Game On. And we'll see how Anthony likes to be in the driving seat after all. So right now, we're going to take you to Word on the Floor with Bernice.
Hey UPSers, this is the Word on the Floor, and I am Bernice Hodgson, and we are here with our external technical support team. I have Marlene, who is a coach. We also have Jermaine, we have Donald, and we have the wonderful Carlos. Guys, what was your favorite part about 2017 rollout?
My favorite part was the drawings when we did for the disc time, and we had a great time, involved everybody, the TSRs. It was fantastic.
Awesome.
Team competition, bring your highest level of support.
Awesome.
I particularly liked the taco party because the tacos were made really well, and I even got to sneak a couple extra away with me when I left.
Carlos?
Really, you heard it there. They summed it up. Drawings, competitive, food, can't turn down a good meal. That's why we do things at UPS.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to take you over to our internal technical support team.
Hi, this is Paul. I wanted to reflect on our January 2017 peak experience. I was very relaxed, which allowed me to help out our users with their issues and also be able to help our team by working overtime as much as I could. Have a great day.
All right, guys, now we are here in TSC, our internal technical support side, and so I have the lovely Susan Dieters, and I also have Tim Stewart here with us. What was your guys' favorite thing about this year's rollout?
That this year's token expiration process went much smoother than the last time.
Awesome. And Tim?
I agree with that, and the food.
The food is always a good thing here at UPS Las Vegas. And now I am here on our technical support side with our esteemed, wonderful, amazing coach, Cheryl Montgomery. And I also have one of our newest techies over here, Marshall Royster. And guys, how do you think that this year's peak, what was your favorite thing about this year's rollout?
All the food. I loved all the food, especially the tacos, and the band contest for perfect attendance, and all the prizes they were giving away.
Beautiful. Marshall?
I would definitely say the food as well. I won an award, the BAM award, so I thought that was pretty awesome too.
That is great. See, we're doing amazing things over here. We're excited about how everything went. Back to you guys.
I take charge.
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 The reason why I take charge?
It's to grow company business.
Because I do have the ability to make a little extra money if one of my leads go through.
There's always a sales lead around the corner. You just have to keep your eyes peeled and look out for it.
Submit that information to our Take Charge program.
We gather the information and submit the lead in Slim. Boom. You help grow the business. There's nothing to it.
I take charge.
Welcome back. I'm Mickey Rourke, and we're here for the interview portion of What's Ups. Now, we actually have a pair of interviewees with us this time, and there's something special about the two of you, because this is Ray and Vienne Kasparitz. You guys are actually married. Now, did I say the last name correctly?
Yes.
Close enough. Okay, close enough. Mm-hmm. I like her better already. Okay, she said it was good. All right. So, Vienne, you're a coach with the workforce department, and Ray, you're a telecom analyst.
Correct.
Okay, so that means you get to listen and try to figure out what's going on with all the call routing, things along those lines.
Sure, yeah.
Sure, okay. Unfortunately, most people understand what workforce does, so. But they're on your side. That's what you all have to remember. So, the reason why I asked both of you to be here is because there are actually a lot of relationships within the Las Vegas call center that most agents maybe don't know. I myself have a sister that works out on the floor. You both are married. We have some other married couples out there as well. So I definitely wanted to bring you guys in to kind of talk about that experience. But we'll get to that in a minute. The first thing I want to know is how did the two of you meet?
We met when we both worked at Micro-Age almost 20 years ago. I worked at a different department, and Ray also worked at a different department. So I worked on the Media One desk, and I would see Ray come past walk past my department, and I had a coworker, a gentleman named Ralph. And so Ralph, he and his wife worked there, and he asked me to write something on a piece of paper, and he would hand deliver it to Ray. So one day we saw Ray walk by, and I quickly scribbled something on a piece of paper. Ralph took it to Ray, and
Here we are.
Here we are.
here we are.
Now, I got a slightly different story from Ray. Okay, that's not exactly how he put it. I think he put it is you walked by and bam, sort of situation, because you had something special about your look. Come on, Ray, you have to share what was special about your look.
It's just me.
And nothing special about the hair you want to share, Ray? We're all about hair on this show.
Looked a little different back then.
He looked a little different back then. Do you want to share about his hair?
Ray had long hair that was probably mid-back. He wore it in a ponytail with a tie and a shirt, and I just thought that he was cute, and so Ralph was our
You're a little Cupid.
cute. Yeah, he was the Cupid.
Yeah,
So
passing notes in study hall.
passing
That's
notes.
right.
Mhm.
So obviously, Ray no longer has the long
I do not.
ponytail, so we're going to have to get the hair rule changed so we can see it come back, Ray. I don't want to see you sporting the ponytail now.
Yep.
Maybe. We'll see.
So what does UPS mean to your family? So you guys kind of started with met in Micro-Age, but you didn't stick with it, and then that was actually in Phoenix, not here in Las Vegas.
Correct.
And then you both moved out here when Ray's position kind of transferred to this
Yeah,
site.
reloaded in 2004.
Reloaded in
with,
2004.
Some of the other UPSers that came.
So what does UPS mean to your family?
With our oldest, he was 1 year old at the time that we moved here, and Evan, I stayed home with Evan. He would see his dad leaving every morning to go to work, and so he knew that Daddy worked for UPS, and Evan was into Matchbox cars when he was little, and so he could tell you every make and model of that car. And he was given a UPS truck, and then there was a DHL truck. So Evan would say, I would ask him, hey, Evan, where does Daddy work? And he'd say, he works at UPS. And I would say, well, where do you work? And he'd say, I work for DHL. So it was like a little joke in the family. So we would tell our family members, and when they would call to speak with Evan over the phone, they would always ask him, hey, where does your dad work? And where do you work? And everybody would get a kick out of it because Daddy worked for UPS and he worked for DHL. So this was almost 12 years ago.
Has he rethought of the career choice now?
Well, our kids now we have two, and the little one also, he knows that, both of us work at UPS.
But he doesn't want to be a DHL driver.
No, he's definitely, UPS is part of our family. When we go home, we talk about UPS, and so our children grew up knowing that UPS is part of the family. The little one, he goes to preschool, and his teacher knows that both Ray and I work for UPS, and when the truck drives by the school, if they're out in the schoolyard, his teacher would come up, Ethan, where does your mommy and daddy work? They work for UPS, so it's something that we've, incorporated in with our family, so our children know that this is not just a job, but a career, and that, UPS is part of our family.
Fantastic. So you rejoined the UPS family last in peak of 2015. 2015
yeah.
with the Friends and Family program.
Correct.
Okay, so you seem to be doing a lot of the talking. So I'm actually going to direct this one at Ray. I'm going to make him talk a little bit right now. So with Vienne now working here in the call center, how does that actually? How do you guys make that work? Because Vienne talked a little bit about, you guys talk about UPS at home, but how does the relationship work with having your wife work with you?
Actually works out quite well for us. We get along at home, we get along here. We don't really interact much here at work, we see each other, but we work in different roles, although we're in the same building. We drive separately, we eat lunch separately. Sometimes we'll take walks, things like that, but we really don't interact much with each other. Her role and my role are really separate, but we occasionally run into each other.
Okay.
It works.
Now, you did mention when she first started working here and she was doing the peak calls, she actually started asking you some questions that actually helped you with a new project that you're currently working on.
Yeah, really with what I do with telecom and call mitigation, transfer reductions, things like that. She hears me talking all the time, and she was able to bring things to my attention. Being a seasonal hire, tracking only, she would get calls for international or shipping, things that were outside of her training. She would question, why am I getting these calls? And I started putting some methodology in place and found some things, found some improvement opportunities, and it was really helpful to get that feedback directly. So,
and that's not really something you might have gotten if it wasn't for your relationship.
No, typically what I do is I seek things to fix, but this was something where she would bring them to me, and then I could track it down. So that was very helpful.
Okay. So I guess if nothing else, that definitely is a little advice to every department to maybe start bringing you things as well too. Just
absolutely
don't wait for you to ask for it.
Yeah, absolutely. There, we use tools and service observations, and we try to find things, but it's always helpful when our people recognize problems. They're taking these calls day in and day out, and they generally know when something is out of the ordinary to bring it to somebody's attention, and that's exactly what Vienne did with me. Brought it to my attention, and then I ran with it.
So Vienne mentioned before, it's like UPS is a career now, really for both of you.
Mm-hmm.
So how have you guys actually talked about that? How that might be affected if one of you is offered a position over the other that might take you to another part of UPS?
We really haven't discussed it much. I've been here longer, so I think those opportunities are available to me now versus later on in her career. But I think we both agree, and whenever it happens, and we'll be good to go.
All right. Well, I'd like to thank you both for joining us today, talking about the friends and family and the kind of relationship you have inside and outside of work. If nothing else, thanks for letting me know about his hair. That was worth this whole thing, just to find out about the long ponytail.
Yeah, I'll have to find my micro-age badge. I think I still have that at home.
Oh, okay, fantastic. Yeah, if he finds it, we'll put an image of it in the comments. So thanks for joining us once again, and thank you for joining us for the interview for What's Ups. Welcome back to What's Ups. I'm your host, Mickey Rourke, and we're here with WTF What's That Food. Vienne from the interview earlier decided to join us, and we told her what we were going to have, and she graciously volunteered to be a part of it. But actually, the guest of the hour, the main man, the reason why I was always hoping we were going to put this segment into the show, Mr. Paul McGee, trainer here in Las Vegas. You brought us something really special. Now, before we talk about this, before we talk about you a little bit, there's another reason why Paul is kind of involved with the What's That Food segment. For those of you who are fans of the show, okay, that probably sounds really familiar. That's because Paul is the laugh at the beginning of the What's That Food segment. So we're definitely glad you're with us, and thank you for lending us your most jovial laugh for this segment. It really brings it together. So let's actually get into the reason you're here, though. So what have you brought us today, Paul?
I've brought mini cheesecakes. I enjoy cheesecakes. I love them tremendously. So I decided, okay, let me try it in a cupcake form. And I brought different flavors. I have lemon, cherry, and strawberry, and caramel.
Okay, fantastic. Now, what got you into baking, though?
It started several years ago. Someone had invited me to do a cake decorating class, and I went from there. Enjoyed it tremendously. Got into it, was baking cakes at first, and eventually got kind of burnt out on it because everybody was asking.
That's a baking pun. I got burnt out on. Never mind. Okay.
Wow. And then from there, one weekend I decided, okay, let's try it in a cupcake form. I was seeing all these shows, and at the time I glazed it with alcohol. Of course, it kind of kicked it up a notch.
Okay, so now I have a problem though with the alcohol. So. Is there alcohol in these?
No alcohol.
That's the problem I'm having now. So we're gonna have to redo this segment in a couple more months and more baking. All right, so we're definitely going to get into these. These look absolutely delicious. Mm-hmm. So basically, you brought them for a potluck here.
Yes.
Okay, and that kind of now everyone's inviting you to potlucks.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You're gonna have to start charging for potlucks.
Even to the point when I would bring in a white box, everybody would look and it's like, oh my gosh, Paul got the white box, in a good way.
Yeah, for those of you who've been with UPS for a while, white box used to have a really negative connotation to it.
So, and it just went from there.
All right. Well, I definitely think we should get into these. We should test them for the quality purposes of the show and everything. So I'm going to claim this one so don't hesitate, Ian. Jump in.
Okay.
Now that I've got mine, you're doing lemon. Which one are you doing? You're doing caramel. All right. So see what I liked about the strawberry one, and it comes with its own convenient carrying handle. So this is bigger than I thought it was going to be.
And the thing about it with this recipe, I kind of tweaked it to my liking.
We're just going to enjoy it. That is definitely the best thing we've had on this segment yet. So, I'd really like to continue talking to Paul, but in all honesty, I'm just going to keep eating this. So, thanks for joining us for What's That Food? And, yeah. So that brings us to a close of the first episode of What's Up Season 2. We hope you like what you saw. We had a lovely couple for the interview, Ray and Vienne Kasperitz. We had some delicious cheesecake, and we of course had Word on the Floor. So what's the next show going to bring? Well, there's only one way to find out. Join us again. I've been your host, Mickey Rourke.